now entering the Horror Sanctum.
Hello and welcome back to the Horror Sanctum podcast. I'm Jay with John, Kellen, and TJ, and today we're talking about one of my comfort films. As strange as that may sound, 2003's horror comedy House of a Thousand Corpses, directed by the legend himself, Mr. Robert Zombie. Before I go further, did anyone, and this is odd because it's a horror comedy, right? I never called this movie a horror comedy in my life until I wrote this. Am I the only one?
I've never thought that
Really
either.
play that way, right?
I've
Like
never
it is.
thought that, but I mean, this is obviously like his version of Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 kind of world, and
Yeah.
that's always been called a horror comedy.
Yeah, that just never clicked for me for some reason. But I digress. You should already be familiar with this movie that has now since been a trilogy, and they continue to put out fucking still books that look different with each one, and all three of them together, and you're driving me nuts and taking all my money. But if you're not familiar, two young couples traveling across the backwoods of Texas searching for urban legends of murder end up as prisoners of a bizarre and sadistic backwater family of serial killers.
House of Thousand Corpses is easily, without a doubt, Rob Zombie's best film ever made, and I stand by that. It was actually filmed in, I think, 99. Didn't come out till 2003, but it was kind of a studio thing. It is his most studio film, and I think it's the one that he says people interfered with the most, which is kind of funny because I think it's his best. I don't know what that says either way. I think maybe it lends its hand to just maybe the look of the movie, maybe the studio forced a look and he might have wanted a different look. I don't know, you know.
If I may, so I thought about that too, and
Mhm.
my note was about the ending feeling like the last 20 minutes felt so different from the rest of the film. And I
Oh,
wonder if that's part of it. Like, well, he probably had an ending, and they're like, well, let's do it this way instead. Because
yeah,
it just felt like there was
After
a big
she goes
tunnel
in that hole, it's like a totally
Yeah.
different world.
it is. And and that's the thing about this movie is it's not boring. There is not one moment of this movie that is boring. And I think everything in it just builds, even that ending for me. Rob Zombie's got a lot of films. I know he's got his haters, his lovers. For me, this and The Devil's Rejects are the best. I think it's pretty even keel. I can understand the argument either way. House takes it for me because I just like the fun factor more. But I don't argue with someone when they say Devil's Rejects is better. Like it doesn't like offend me or anything. It's kind of just, 1A, 1B type thing. It's really your preference. I think it's funny that Bill Moseley is in this movie just because he was in Texas Chainsaw 2, and then he did this movie. And I remember when I first watched this, that was the only thing I'd seen him from. So there was something about this role that it wasn't the same role, but it's just this weird thing where it's almost like imagining Chop Top getting older and he turns just into a total like psychopath, like just dead, like serious type character. I still think between both characters, even though I love them both, I think Chop Top and Texas Chainsaw is a little more dangerous just because he has no calm modes. I wouldn't want to be stuck with that guy. The only dumb thing about the movie is the leads. The leads in the movie, I mean, they're fine actors. What I mean is like, when I'm saying dumb, I mean they act dumb. They do stupid things. I mean, it's a horror movie, right? They're all good actors, though. The interchange between like Sid Haig and Rainn Wilson, the thing about this movie I always loved is the way Sid Haig goes in between like likable, goofy, like kind of gross to like dead serious, scary is so great. And they did that in Devil's Reject, but it's almost like the way he uses the camera and the way it like the music cuts. Like that is just so good. And so many people don't do that in movies ever. I know we were talking about this beforehand. I just think this movie, even if it is a lot of fun, but watching again and thinking about it, I'm like, this is like a great, great film. Like it's one of those things that I think it gets looked over because I think Devil's Rejects was so controversial and was a good movie. I think that's the one everyone always goes to and says that's the better one. And I don't know. I think this one really is a contender, I love the black and white cuts and the little like there's so many things in this movie that could be its own universe. Like the guy where he's talking about the skunk ate touched my wife, and Like all the weird like little intercut things. The dude with the shotgun where he's like pointing at the screen. Like it's just all these odd things that when I was watching it, I was like, I'd watch an entire series about this world, just all these people. Um, but overall, I mean, I love it. I will say the last thing, the slow motion death of Walter Goggins when he gets gunned down is that's literally one of the best scenes ever in a movie. The way he does that and suspensefully like slows that down to where you just never, even to this day, I never can time it right when he's going to kill him. Brilliant. So
And the
over,
timing, the recoil, in the gun, the sound when he hits the ground, like yeah, it was great.
yeah. So overall, it's a win for me. I mean, I love it. What do you guys think?
I think similar to John, I think this is hands down for me Rob Zombie's best film. It's his first film. If you hear Rob Zombie talk about it, he says it's a terribly flawed film and he's not very fond of it, and it was just a calamitous mess, I think is his quote, uh, to make it. Which, I mean, sometimes all of that stew creates a better thing, against all the odds. Uh, it was shot years earlier, and I remember renting VHS tapes of other horror films, and you get just a teaser of like the house with like skulls in front of it, and it's just say House of Rob Zombie's House of a Thousand Corpses, the movie they don't want you to see or they don't want to get out or something like that, because they started doing that just to try and push distributors and Universal to just come off of it. They were sitting on a cut of it for like forever. I think his original cut was like 105 minutes and it come in like under 90 for what they actually released to theaters. But it actually started as not a film at all, which is why I think it feels a little kind of patchworked together, especially towards the end. It's because it started as just a ride when they first started doing the Universal Horror Nights. In fact, the stuff that's on that Sid Haig's weird serial killer ride is actually pieces of what they started to incorporate as a ride slash haunted house type experience, and they actually just incorporated that into the film when it become a film. Um, Actually, fun story about the house is on the Universal lot and it's part of the tram ride that keeps coming through, and it's the actual house from 1982, Burt Reynolds Dolly Parton classic, the best little whorehouse in Texas. And they, similar to Halloween 2, where they had to stop like every few minutes because they were in direct path of an airport thing. They had to stop every few minutes because the trams just kept coming through with tours constantly. So they had to have little windows of time. I'm sure that added to the frustration of Rob trying to make this movie, having to stop constantly for tours that are actively going on. But I just think it's cool that house is still there, and the history behind it. And it's still just being gone by every day by rando families, not knowing the horrors that were once indwelt in the house. It is a love letter to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and especially Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, maybe to a lesser extent 3. But I mean, that's why you cast Bill Moseley in that role, right? It's a love letter to specifically that kind of grimy, grindhouse, uh, backwoods horror family kind of vibe. And I think it's of all the many ripoffs of that concept of like a backwoods family of killers type thing that Texas Chainsaw Massacre did the best. This is the best, um, pretender to the throne. This is the next best thing I think that we've gotten. I do think it is kind of a 1A, 1B with this film and Devil's Rejects. Devil's Rejects is more of like a 70s exploitation, like a road film almost, because they're on the run, on the lam for so much of it. And it does lean more into thriller, I think, than than straight up horror like this one definitely does. But some of the visuals in that last sequence, that last 20-ish minutes or so after she's down in that pit, and then you got Dr. Satan and the big monster thing, and nothing really makes sense after that point. You don't know if it's a fever dream, if they gave her some kind of drugs and that's just in her head. I mean, who knows what happens with that. I mean, I guess Devil's Rejects, it's been a minute since I've seen that one, but I assume it just kind of picks up like that was all real.
It picks up right after. Well, it picks up right after with the family where the cops come in on the house.
Yeah, I remember that. And then they shoot up and they kill the big giant guy.
I think it was all real. I think that was an experiment of Dr. Satan. He had like
Mhm.
the mask on. I don't think it was a dream or anything. I think it was all legit.
Right. So
He's in the
that it.
deleted scenes of Devil's Rejects. He kills Rosario Dawson.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's a, there. He's there's a deleted scene with Dr. Satan. If you look it up on YouTube, it's cool. It's pretty cool to see.
Oh yeah. I think it's cool how much talent was in this. I mean, Dwight from The Office before he was Dwight from The Office. You got Chris Hardwick, who created The Nerdist and everything. Good comedian in his own right. Um, it was the first time that Rob would put his wife Sherry in a movie and then just put her in
Ooh.
every other movie. you know, it's definitely, you can tell it's an early 2000s movie and the way it's cut, and it's cut like a rock music video in a lot of ways. A lot of those quick jump cuts, flashes of just random weird scenes to just kind of mix it up, break it up, because I mean that's how he was doing his own music videos back in the day. So but it's visually, that I think that adds to the charm of it, and the you never can just rest in the movie, because you those jump cuts and the tension that you start to get with the family, and nobody's as they really present themselves, even to the very end with Sid Haig's character. Uh, it just unsettles you if you really go along for the ride with these people, right? And I dig a film that can create that sense of unease, but then still show you stuff that's visually interesting. And there's definitely some stuff in this movie that I hadn't seen before and hadn't seen since. And God bless Rob Zombie. I'm not a huge Rob Zombie movie fan. Uh, was not a fan of him going back and having to tell the backstory of Michael Myers, even though I think the second half of that first movie is pretty good and one of the more intense Michael Myers we've ever gotten. But I don't want a backstory for Michael Myers, right? But all of that being said, I do think this is his best film. It's a love letter to the '80s, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's not a perfect film, uh, but it's a fun watch, and it's a quintessential Halloween film, I think.
Yeah, House of a Thousand Corpses, 2003. So long ago. So long ago. Hour and 29 minutes, 21% on Rotten Tomatoes. And I remember watching this movie when it came out. And so I would be 20, 20, I think, around the time that it came out. Yeah. So so just coming into who I would grow up to be, and I loved this film. Um, I thought it was visually fun. It was like unlike anything I had seen up to that point. It was almost like watching MTV After Dark, like when you'd get Headbangers Ball, the intermission stuff between that, and a little bit of like some Adult Swim stuff. And I had probably seen this movie 4 or 5 times
That was
up
such a good
until
description, dude.
what's
That was such a good description. I was listening to that, and it did feel like you were watching something you weren't supposed to on cable television. It did have that Adult Swim, like I was thinking MTV, like the claymation fights, like even had
yeah.
that feel to it. Yeah, dude, that's why you're on the show right there. Not your stupid J-Lo takes, but those.
Well, anyway, I don't like this movie anymore. So
And he
I
drops it.
I hadn't seen this movie in probably 15 years. And I watched it yesterday for the first time, and I about 20 minutes in, I said, "Oh no, this movie's terrible." I struggled so hard to get through this movie. And it's such a 180 from the first time I watched it because I watched it and it made me want to watch Devil's Rejects and Three from Hell and 31 and all the other Rob Zombie movies that were in that vein. I still haven't seen Lawrence of Salem, even though the makeup that she has on the cover of that looks a lot like Dr. Satan's makeup in this towards the end. Um, but I just started realizing all of these characters are the most annoying human beings possible. Chris Hardwick is so annoying. Rainn Wilson's fine. Rainn Wilson is playing a toned down version of Dwight, he's just interested in what's going on and is non-existent. The girls that they brought with them, I'm glad they died. Um, Chris Hardwick, glad he died. Thanks for creating the Nerdist, even though they stabbed you in the back and didn't have your back like they should have, since you basically
fuck
gave
you,
all of them
Nerdist.
careers. Sherry Moon Zombie is the most annoying human being in this entire film. That stupid laugh that she does for no reason at random times was like nails on a chalkboard. Walton Goggins, forgot he was in this. He's bordering on national treasure. That guy's just, how can you not like him? Even in this movie, like you could tell watching him in this that he was bound to be bigger. Just because in the short little scenes, and yeah, like y'all said, that the scene where he shoots him and the camera's panned back, that is a beautifully shot scene. It's not to say that this movie doesn't have aspects. The last 15, 20 minutes, like you said, it's a completely different film. If you take all of the Rob Zombie, like the little jump cuts where it's just random, washed out versions of different clips of random things that he throws in. This is a 40-minute movie at best. If you take all the unnecessary stuff out of this film. And that's what started to get on my nerves, is it was too much. It was too much like laugh in, like more killing. And then before we kill again, it was like so out of place in everything else that it just starts to feel like there was no direction. Like he had no idea what he was doing. And this is his directorial debut, right? So he's learning. I get that. But it's just so disconnected. And the more I watched it, the more I hated the characters and the more I couldn't wait for everybody to die. And then everybody died and I didn't feel sorry for them because I was glad that it happened because it meant the movie was over. And I want to say, going into this, I was fully expecting to love this movie again because I used to love it. And I don't know if it's just something about getting older. You become more quick to write things off. You have a shorter fuse when it comes to things that start to annoy you. You're over it, I guess would be the best way to put it. But like I said, 20 minutes into this movie and I was over it. I was like, all right, let's get to the bloodshed so we can get to the credits so I can get to the podcast and rain on everybody's parade because I knew that everybody else liked it. I'd heard John say before that he was a big fan of this movie. It's like if they decided to remake the first two Texas Chainsaw Massacres as one movie, but do it bad. The goggle guy, that was super creepy. I think it would have been better if she would have poked him in his little butthole shaped mouth with that stick instead of it caving in like Super Shredder in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, Secret of the Ooze. That was kind of like a boring way for him to, get defeated in that scene. I think it would have just been hilarious if she just poked him in his face doo-doo hole.
Arse
I think
face.
that would have been our space.
So
Yeah, I
that
think
was
would have been
Earl. That
really
guy,
funny.
I think that was the dad. The guy with the axe and the goggles. I think they call him Earl. He's the dad of Baby in them. I think. I
Well,
might be wrong.
that was a
Uh,
super creepy character. And like I said, it's a different movie. The last 20 minutes is almost like what you've watched something completely different. And the next movie he did, um, the Devil's Rejects, it feels like a completely different film. And you can tell he's kind of growing in his directorial abilities. But I have to agree with what Rob Zombie said is a discombobulated mess. Whatever, however TJ worded what he said, it just doesn't do it for me. And I wrote it down while John was saying, "There's no parts of this movie that are boring." I was so bored. I was so I was so bored halfway through. It was another one of those movies where I kept tapping my screen to check what the time was to see how much time was left. And I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I love you so much, Rob Zombie. I've got like four of your albums right beside me, right? So if you ever come on the podcast, you never will, and you never will hear this. But if you did, just give me all the hate the other guys don't deserve. I'm done.
Isn't that the truth? Fun fact, it's the movie I own the most copies of. So I also don't like it. No, I love this movie. I love this movie when I saw it in theaters because like Kellen described so elegantly earlier, it's like Adult Swim meets like MTV After Dark, all that stuff. It's like almost like Joe Bob back in the day to an extent. Like it just felt a little bit different because it's not anything I had seen before. Is it a giant mess? Sure, but you know what? It's our mess. It's my mess, and I will take it. If you know me well enough, you know I have an affinity for Miss Sherry Moon Zombie. Big fan. I get very angry when people share memes and hate on him casting her in all his movies. It's his fucking movie and it's his fucking wife. He can do what he wants to do. She's not that bad. Is she annoying at times? Yes, but she's easy on the eyes. Um, I agree, Kellen, about the characters and how annoying they are. Everyone's terrible. Um, the cringiest person for me is it the grandpa? And he does stand up with mashed potatoes flying out. His mouth's like eating their pussy or whatever, and everything just goes fine. Like he's so over top, and I know that's what he was trying to do, right? He was just making a longer music video because it looks exactly like all his music videos. Um, this is a yearly watch for me, especially around Halloween in October. I like the visuals, like how it's so bright, but it's also so dark at the same time. You know, like he does that very well, just like my background with the lighting at Captain Spaulding's gas station. Like it's just it looks good, but then he does kind of cut up too much with the pixelated film shots and like even shots of them torturing the cheerleaders and things like that. There is a lot of that, and I wonder if the issues that he had making it had something to do with why there was so much. It's not a perfect film by any stretch of the means, but it gave us several iconic characters, and that's a feat these days. Everybody's trying to get that character, but you see Captain Spaulding everywhere. Kids, adults can't go to any type of store and not see his face somewhere. Bill Moseley too, just because he's an icon all on his own. But I absolutely adore this movie. Like I said earlier, when I'm in a bad mood, it used to be Superbad was my go-to. I just watched that again this week. It's still great, but my go-tos now are Terrifier 2 and this. This movie just puts me in a good mood because it's so dumb, but it works well. It's a great little story about, roadside attraction. Let's go check this out. Oh shit, we met some locals. What's going to happen? It's very Texas Chainsaw Massacre. We know that. Little Hills Have Eyes sprinkled in there. But it's also scary. Like when you step back and look at what's really happening, like Bill Moseley is fucking terrifying in this movie. Like giving the political speeches and how his brain's stuck and he can't think. I mean, give me Jaws, Sasquatch, whatever the fuck is in Smile. Give me those over Bill Moseley in a corner. Like his character, I don't want that at all. But you know me, I love this movie. It does no wrong in my book. Besides today, I didn't notice that it does feel like two movies. But there's other movies like that, right? But it doesn't take away anything from me. I do think I still am kind of reeling about the horror comedy part because it's clearly a horror comedy, but I just never, ever, ever put those two together. But Jay loves it. Surprise. So let's go around, give our rankings, and we'll close up shop. I gave it a 4, which is fair. It's a perfect movie to me. I love it, but it's still a 4 movie. So 4 for me. John?
I really like all the intercut stuff in the movie. I get it is definitely like a music video, but man, I love that stuff. That's part of what made it so creepy was how they stylized it, and like when he's torturing the cheerleaders. That when I was watching the credits today, the opening credits, it looks a lot like how they did that All American Massacre movie that's like never been seen. It reminded me of that a bit. Overall, though, the only thing I wish he would have done is I wish he would have made more movies that looked like this. I think that once he hit the Devil's Rejects, he went with that style so far. And there's nothing wrong with it. I really love the look he did here. It's more of a traditional film style. So yeah, overall 4 out of 5 for me. I love it. Not a perfect movie, but I love it.
Each.
I'm trying to think of what was All American Massacre. Why is
I
that
just
familiar
Googled it.
to
It's
me?
not what I thought it was. I was thinking of a Christopher Walken movie.
No, it was basically Toby Hooper's son's movie that he made that never got released in 2000 with Bill Moseley.
With Bill
It's-
Moseley.
yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. Okay.
Bloody Bobby.
For me, it's a 3.5. I think it's really good. But it's not all-time classic level for me. I do think it's Rob's best movie. I think it's a great Halloween movie. I like the visuals. It's got some dark comedy to it. But at the same time, Jay's watched it a lot more than me over the years. Maybe I've seen it 6 times, but I think it's a solid movie.
All right, that's it. That gives. All right, Kellen.
Jodie Foster's accent was a better actress
No!
than Sherry Moon Zombie in this movie.
That's probably true.
Her accent in Silence of the Lamb was better than Sherry Moon Zombie in this movie. I mean, honestly, like 2003, 2004, Kellen would have probably give this like 4.5, 4. 2025 Kellen, post-COVID Kellen, thinks this movie is a 1.5. It just does not hit on any cylinders for me. So hope we grade on a curve.
God.
The fuck, dude? What the fuck?
I live to disappoint.
Oh, you do it well. All right, that puts us at 3.25. So that's a 3. Congratulations, Kellen.
Damn.
Yeah, made it a 3. All right, that's it for this episode. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and to wherever you listen to this podcast. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, join our Facebook group that no one ever participates in, but 3 of us on the screen right now. And Amazon Music, we have a playlist featuring some Rob Zombie hits after this episode. So go check that out as well. Signing off, I'm Jay with John, Dickhead, and TJ. And until next time,
Keep it spooky.
And don't hate on House of a Thousand Corpses.
I don't know why I wrote Dickhead. That's so weird.
I didn't think you would
Autocorrect
think
is
that,
so
man.
crazy.
That's
The
really
thing is,
I
though,
thought you'd really like it because you
Yeah,
really
If we're
like
being
Rob
honest,
Zombie.
if we're being honest, you're not wrong.
It's
You're
not
not wrong, but we
it's
just
not a great movie.
No,
We have a
it is a
different
great
feeling.
movie. That
It's
is
fantastic.
a great movie.
You think it's a great movie?
I
think
will
it's a
say,
fun
I will say
movie.
Captain Spaulding is one of the most iconic clowns of all time, and that's all Sid Haig. Sid Haig made that character fun, and I think part of it too is I'm just not a fan of the writing style of Rob Zombie. It just at a certain point it just becomes like cussing to cuss. It's like when you say a
On the
word so many
Munsters.
times in a row. Correct, but you say
That's
a
true.
word so many times in a row that it kind of loses meaning. Like at a certain point, they drop an F-bomb in this movie, and it's like they said biscuit. Like it doesn't mean
Right.
anything to me anymore because he said it so many times.
I think for me that's the biggest thing is Rob's script writing and dialogue writing for the movies I've seen of his.
He's
is-
still light years better than George Lucas.
Oh yeah.
George Lucas's writing is so bad. It's so
Right.
I will
immature.
never watch episode 2 again.
Oh, it's so bad.
Never.
Well, you know,
No.
the thing with House though is that I think it's unique just the way it looks, but it is ridiculous. Like Sherry Moon, she can kind of be that character and then some because of the world. It's such a hyper realistic world. I mean, I can understand the criticisms, but I don't know, man. There's just certain scenes like when Sid Haig is talking to the sheriff, like just the way they film that. That's just great filmmaking in my. I don't know. To me, it is, but
Kellen, make Lords of Salem one of your this week I watched. Today I watched.
Lord
I
of
mean,
Salem.
but to be fair, John,
I like that one a lot.
possibly your favorite horror movie ever is Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, right?
I would take that out of it. I liked this movie even before then. Like, I remember I probably didn't rewatch Texas Chainsaw 2 till like I was 25, 24.
That's
But
another
Wow.
movie you have to watch later for me. That was a movie I watched later in life, and I'm glad
I
did
hated it
because
when I
understood
first
it.
watched it because
Sure.
I was so not expecting the tonal shift of it.
Right.
But
Yeah.
now I've come to really like it. I think you
All
and
right.
I watched it.
31's the one where it's like they're in the different. It's like almost like a fun house that these
Yeah.
people. Set.
Yeah.
That one I really enjoyed that, and I watched that movie probably 5 or 6 years ago. I really enjoyed that. The visual style in that was a lot better for me.
Well, that's just his
and I
progression.
think-
He gets dark.
He's darker.
Yeah, yeah. I think the I don't know. It just doesn't. I guess it just doesn't work for me now. And it may just be tastes change. There's movies that I watched. I watched Shawshank Redemption. I bet I've seen that movie 40 times. I have zero desire to watch the Shawshank Redemption at any point in time now. And it's not because I've seen it so much that I remember. There's a lot that I've forgotten. I read the book. It's just one of those movies that, like, at this time in my life, it doesn't sound like a good time.
Yeah. Well, let's if you made it this far, let's do bonus content. Has anybody, for the most part, seen all Rob Zombie's movies? What's your least favorite Rob Zombie movie?
Well, obviously this one.
Which is insane, but we'll move on.
uh,
Have you seen Halloween and Halloween 2?
Yes.
Halloween 2.
Halloween 2.
Yeah, that's
Probably
the one.
Halloween 2.
But Bria Grant's in Halloween 2, boys.
She is.
Yeah, Halloween 2
I mean,
was better
Bria's
than
great.
Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends.
Oh,
Wow, that's a hot take.
how dare you?
Jackson Stewart, one of his choices was
Halloween Ends. Imagine if the
We covered that
monster
already.
was
didn't we?
living in a
Yeah,
a
I told
sewer
him.
eating
Oh, okay,
rats.
yeah.
That's when he came back with Phantasm. And I was like, I think Phantasm's probably going to win. But has anybody else seen Beyond the Gates with him? It's Barb and Bria.
Oh, is it the VHS
Yeah.
movie? Yeah, I like that one. That's cool.
So he
I don't
directed
think
it.
I've seen
So he when I posted that primer shot and I said name the movie win a prize, he was one of the
Yeah.
few people that knew what it was. So I sent
Now,
him.
Primer, I love.
Yeah, I love that movie. I sent him. I asked him if he would sign my sleeve for the movie. He did. And he already sent it back. So he's super nice. He wants to come on the show. Anyways, we got off the rails there. My least favorite Rob Zombie movie is none of them. No, probably the World of El Super Bistro, his animated movie.
Oh yeah, if you count that, probably that. I
It's
watched
fine.
that once.
I
And it's
own
like,
it, but
it's really just a weird animated thing.
I never saw
like-
3 from Hell, but I heard it was not good. I have
I
not
like
seen
3
it.
from
I don't
Hell.
mind Three from Hell. That one's more of like a Western shootout kind of movie.
that's my favorite Sherry Moon. That's my favorite Baby Firefly.
I've
that
never
when she puts
watched
the
that one.
headdress on. Light
Oh.
my fire.
I never watched that one because I felt like they were replacing Sid Haig, which I know he was practically
He's
on
in
his
it because they
deathbed.
shot some stuff with him, but yeah, he's not in it.
Yeah, he's in the beginning, but he's so frail and skinny. It's sad. But yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
they had to have
Yes.
somebody else. They had to have an accomplice. I think it was originally written for him to be their accomplice.
I just thought it was so ludicrous after the end of the Devil's Rejects. There's no way any of them survived the end of that movie.
Oh, plot twist! There was a way they wrote it.
Well, I mean,
right.
plus, I will say, if you think about it, House of Thousand Corpses and Devil's Rejects are two different. It's kind of part of his thing. Like, he kind of just, he can make a different movie next, and you kind of just, it's like Friday the 13th. What happens at the end of them? They keep continuing them.
Right.
It's just part of it. I know what you're saying, but I just take it's like part of it.
Who was it? What company was it that did the little Friday the 13th short?
Oh,
that
Angry
just
Orchard.
came out. Angry
that was
Orchard.
fun.
It
I have 'em
wasn't
in the fridge.
bad.
I didn't mind it.
It wasn't bad.
I liked it. And I like Angry Orchard.
It
And
took me
yes, you
forever
can
to find the
sponsor
damn
show.
things. I went to Kroger and there was one. I actually went to Kroger. We started on the vegetable aisle and the beer's on the other side of the store, right? So I'm like, I need to go to the bathroom before we dig into this. So I go to the bathroom and on my way back, I'm like, wait a minute, I'm just going to check the beer out in case there is any. And there was one case. Daddy brought it home. I haven't tried any of them yet.
Have you seen the short yet, though?
The what?
I
The
thought the
short?
short was good. There's a lot
Like
of
Sweet
just
Revenge or something like that?
there's
I
a
did-
lot of placement of random apples and stuff in it.
I didn't pick up on the girl thing until after. Like, I knew. Well, I don't want to spoil it for Jay, but like the very end, the girl and him, like what she was, what happened. Like, I didn't pick up on that at all. Like, and I was like, oh, I guess so. Like, what? Because when she comes
That
back
was-
in the movie, I was like, oh, did she just like? It
I'll
didn't.
be-
Nothing occurred to me.
I'll be honest. That I really enjoyed that twist.
yeah.
I really
I
enjoyed
thought that
twist.
made it.
It reminded me of a book, and I can't remember the name of it, but it's about an Airbnb,
Uh-huh.
and the woman goes there, and the person who hosts the Airbnb is a serial killer. But plot twist, since I can't name the book, spoilers for anybody, she's also a serial killer, and he doesn't know. So it's a super fun twist in the book.
That sounded like Scare Me, that movie.
No,
But it sounded like
I
that
mean,
those kind of
it could be like written from it, but yeah, it's one of those twists that when it hits you, because it doesn't play that way, the book reads like a romance novel for the first half until you realize that he's a killer, and then it's more tense because it's you're rooting for her to try to get away, and then you find out she's not trying to get away. she's trying to get him in a situation where she can kill him.
Wow.
It was such a
Have
good
you
book.
seen the
That's
Scare Me
wild.
movie? Did I make you watch that one with Aya Cash
No, I haven't seen
and
that yet.
Josh Rubin, who directed Love Hard Eyes?
You told me about it, but I haven't got to
I
it
love
yet.
hard ass.
Scare Me is a
Did you
good
say
movie.
hard ass?
I also
guys.
like
Hard
that,
ass.
but
Hard
I also
guys.
like hard eyes.
guys.
I love a good hard ass.
Surprise, motherfucker. Hard guys.
There we go.
Hard guys, motherfucker. All right, this is like my favorite House of a Thousand Corpses I have, but they're putting out. I'm gonna have to stop buying them because they keep put different renation.
They do a new one every
versions of it.
Halloween.
Yeah,
Well,
it's,
hold on. 5
I've
years
got
will
the
be the
steelbook,
25th
but-
anniversary. So
this
That'll
is
be
the
another-
no,
20th.
3 years.
Yeah,
3 years
This is the
will be
20th
20
anniversary one.
25th anniversary.
The
yeah.
next one will be a 4K, I bet. Finally.
We didn't even mention Karen Black.
Karen Black is a national treasure. I do dislike that they replaced her in the second film, but I think she was dead.
died.
So I think they had to.
Yeah,
Right.
They had to.
They replaced her with the girl from Police Academy with the big boobs.
Yeah.
That's right.
The technology wasn't there to replace her like they did with Carrie Fisher or in
Or Peter Cushing
Star Wars
in-
movies.
in the Star Wars movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that was Peter Cushing until recently. I was like, oh my god, it is.
Yeah. I
It is
forget his
him.
weird name, but the Empire guy. Yeah.
Yeah, I forget. Something Tonkin,
Darth
Grand Moff Tarkin.
Grand
maybe?
Grand
Yeah, something like
something.
that. Yeah.
That sounded like y'all were having a stroke.
right. Tonkin.